Hi, and welcome to the Loving Soulfully channel where we talk about self-love, soul love, and divine love. My name is Rohit, and today we're going to talk about the sexless marriage. There's been an epidemic of this going on all over the world, and I wonder if you're not in a relationship, did you ever think that something like that might happen to you? And if you are in a relationship, has it already happened to you? Where you've become too busy, too caught up, and sex, affection, romance has gone by the way and just kind of become a forgotten relic of an ancient past. If you're interested in this topic, stay with me. We're going to explore this in depth and we're going to look at solutions to help you make sure this doesn't happen, or if you're in it, give you ways in which to get out of it. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Hi, and welcome back. As I was saying earlier, there's an epidemic of sexless marriages happening all across the world. You know, we have dreams of an ideal partner, and we think about having the most wonderful life together. And yet very often, even though we may have the great life that we dreamt of, things like affection, sexuality, communication often take a back seat. In the US, it's been said that as many as 20% of couples live in sexless marriages. In Japan, it's as high as 47%. And all over the world, the statistics might be some variation of that, but it is prevalent everywhere. Now, in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with a sexless marriage. So what? You're great companions, you're great friends, you support each other, you love each other, you care about each other. Big deal that there's not much affection or sexuality. Or is it a big deal? Maybe it is a big deal to one partner, but very often it's not a big deal to the other partner. That partner might be the one who is watching this video and being wondering, what can I do about this? How can I reach out? How can I get my spouse to understand that this matters? Now the problem is that even though one may say that it's not a big deal, the fact is that in a sexless marriage, the probability of a divorce, the probability of an affair becomes intensified. And if you're going to put that on the partner who has a greater or higher libido, then saying that the one who has the lesser libido should not be reacting the way they do is just going to create a blame game. Each person is going to blame the other. Each person is going to say, you have more desire, I have less desire. This is the reason, that is the reason. There'll be many justifications. But please remember, if your relationship matters to you, then this issue matters. Unless it doesn't matter to both of you, in which case there's no problem at all. In that case, you might as well not watch this video. But if it matters to either of you, then in that case, please continue watching as we explore the causes and the solutions for the sexless marriage. The intent of this video is to reframe the very nature of how we view sex. The way most people do sex is actually boring. Now, you might think I'm being crazy, but I say this because although sex appears fun in the beginning and we're discovering each other and it's novel and there's so much to learn about how we respond and doing things with each other is great. However, if you do the same thing year after year, it's going to get boring. Even if you were to eat your favorite food, be that pizza, chocolate, pasta, whatever it might be, and if you ate the same thing the same way, in the same place, year after year after year, it would get boring. At least for me. Now, maybe that's not true for you. Well, in that case, I stand corrected. But here's my take on it. Sex, according to me, is not about intercourse or even orgasm. Sex is about awakening your body, your heart, your senses. It's about really reconnecting with all of you, not just your mind, not just your thoughts and your intellect, not just your desires and the things you want to have and do in life, but it's connecting with all of you. Sex is about creativity, curiosity, and exploration. And that too, with your partner. Sex is nature's way to make us meditate. I don't think most people realize that. It's prayer. It's attaining transcendence. And why and how? Hold on, hold your horses. I'll explain further. Sex brings about youthfulness. It brings back sensuousness and aliveness. And keep that word in mind, aliveness. That's one of the most important things that people have realized. The folks who've, had affairs have often talked about this. They felt that their relationship had become dead, that they'd lost themselves. And that in the process, when they did have an affair, they felt awake again, they felt alive again. And while that's really hurtful to hear, it's not because it's necessarily the other person's fault. In fact, it is the fault of the very person who had the affair. And that is, they allowed themselves, they chipped off parts of themselves. And we all do this, by the way. We chip off parts of ourselves, we compromise who we are, our desires, our dreams, our nature. And in trying to adapt to the other person, in trying to create a relationship, we mold ourselves. And as we do that, we become less of who we are. And therein comes the deadness. Therein comes the lack of self. And when we go into an affair, here's someone who looks at us with fresh eyes, and suddenly we're ready to come back to who we are and we feel alive again. Of course, the same thing is going to happen with that person as well. So you might as well not jump off the bandwagon. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying let's do that right here in the very relationship you're in, or if you're not in one, about to get into. Consider this. Would you invest $30,000 on a car and then skimp on spending $30 on oil? I don't know if you do that. And if you, especially if you knew that skimping on that little bit of oil and that little bit of expense would cause your car to burn down and completely have the engine freeze on you and the car would no longer run, would you do that? Was that a sensible thing to do? And yet that's what most of us do in relationships. The little investment we need to make in time, money, and energy to learn about good communication, good sex, we bypass it. We think it's just enough to have had a marriage ceremony, to have said some vows, and that's going to save the day. Well, my friends, it's not. It hasn't saved the day for more than 50% of people who are in relationships, who have gotten divorced, who have had affairs. It doesn't work like that. Your relationship is a work of art. It's a dynamic organism that needs to be cultivated and developed. You cannot ignore its needs. Okay? It has to be fed. And it is meant to bring you towards a certain level of mastery over yourself, your thoughts and emotions, over the way you communicate, the way you express, the way you show up. Your relationship will be your greatest achievement in life. Nothing else will matter as much when you're laying at the end of your life and reviewing what you've done and achieved. Those are the people who will be by your side. They are the ones who will be with you through thick and thin. Who am I to tell you this? Well, I'm the guy that blew it up again and again, more than twice. And then I set out to learn from the best. Now I help couples reclaim their relationships, recover their lives. And I'm trying whatever I can to share what I have learned. So let's dive into it. Very often people will withdraw sex because their feelings have been hurt and now they no longer feel like it. Big part of this problem is we've been led to think that because something feels good, we should therefore do it. And if it doesn't feel good, we shouldn't do it. I tend to disagree. It's been shown that our feelings can be affected by our thoughts, and there may be better ways to resolve our feelings. Feelings require better communication, better conflict resolution skills, but not punishing your partner by depriving them of the pleasure of sexuality, which is a way of bonding and overcoming those hurt feelings. One of the ways. And of course, you can't bypass good, healthy communication. And if you need techniques and skills, there's lots of books and lots of people teaching you how to do that. Other feelings are feelings of rejection. If you've been rejected by your partner again and again for sex, you may just back off and think, well, I might as well just go with porn or have an affair. I mean, gee, what else am I going to do? Feelings of sexual inadequacy. Maybe you're not feeling aroused enough. Maybe you're not feeling as competent as much as you used to be, or vibrant or alive as you used to be when you were younger. Maybe your body is not secreting the right fluids. Maybe you're not having an erection. Whatever the causes are, you may feel inadequacy. And none of this is stuff that you can't resolve, but it does require the right approach, which we're going to come to in just a minute. You may not be feeling fit or sexy. A lot of us put on weight as we get older. We tend to lose the lovely bodies that we had when we were younger, and we tend to feel that we're not just good enough or sexy enough. We may have settled into a place of companionship, a sort of friend zone between ourselves as a couple, and as a result may have lost some of that sexual drive. There may be communication issues. We may be raising a child or bearing a child for that matter, and all of that does take a serious hit on our mental framework and how we feel about ourselves and our sexual desire. There may have been adultery in the relationship, or there may have been betrayal. If a partner is engaged in adultery, they're going to come home with less sexual desire. And if there's been betrayal, and you're feeling hurt, and you feel that this person has broken their vows and their promises to you, again, it may reduce your sexual desire massively. Often enough, another issue that couples are facing are the SSRI type medication, which might be dealing with depression or any other issues. This might result in difficulty with orgasm and erection as well. Another thing is habituation. Doing it the same way again and again, the same old mechanical ways of doing sex, or maybe at the same time, maybe just before going to bed. That's so unsexy, just so unattractive. I don't know how people keep doing that, but yeah, a lot of folks fall into that rut. I've been there, done that. Guilty of all or many of the above that I'm talking about. You may have beliefs such as it's a wife's duty, and you may begrudgingly have sex. Or that it's only meant for conception, or whatever other ideas may have come across. You may have gone through traumas of abuse or rape or body image while growing up, and that may have been brought up again now as you get into a relationship. For a lot of people, it's about familiarity, complacency, sort of taking each other for granted and being in a comfort zone. We all want security and safety and comfort, and when we have that, we often lose the desire for novelty and for passion, because we just take it easy. We come home, we work hard, you've been with the kids, and you're taking care of them, and you want to relax, you want to take it easy. You feel sex is too much of pressure and too much of hard work. And then some of us get caught up in porn or alcohol or drugs and ways to escape from the stresses of life. And all of these can come in the way of a healthy sex life. When that happens, and you feel that you can't revive your desire, you can't seem to bring it up again, you can't seem to get yourself to feel good again or feel sexy again, you may begin to feel broken. You may begin to feel this situation is irreparable, that you're unworthy, that there's something wrong with you. So let's go now into our solutions, and let's find out what can be done about all of this. How can we train ourselves? How can we revive our passion? And what it's going to take to get it all back flowing beautifully the way it used to be. Too often, women allow their partners to have intercourse with them before their bodies are turned on and asking for it. Too often, women let the man orgasm and they don't, thinking that they don't want to push him away or make him feel less manly. But that kind of silence might be easier. comes with a great cost. That cost is that for women, we've seen that her body begins to shut down, becomes numb. For men, they might lose their ability to have an erection and therefore have erectile dysfunction. All of this because one partner might be too eager and excited, and no one has trained him or her in how to rein in their desire and pace themselves with the other partner. In your head, you might go into having sex with your to-do list. You might be laying there and thinking about all the stuff that has to be done. And obviously sex is not going to be pleasurable if you're in that state. Or you might be thinking about the things that are unresolved, or the problems that are there in life, or unspoken issues that haven't been dealt with. And yeah, you can't take any of that to the bed with you. All of that needs to be left outside the door of your bedroom and of your bed. Really, I recommend to couples, make your bedroom a very sacred place. A place where sexuality is made into an art form, where it is made into something that is truly divine. And to make that happen requires a series of steps. It's not just enough to go around, wear lingerie, or open the relationship, or leave the relationship for that matter. That's not going to fix anything. You have to make your relationship into something special, and you've got to do it exactly where you are. Because you've been so immersed in giving, maybe raising a family, maybe working for your company, maybe giving to your friends and others, your first step really is going to be in learning to give to yourself. So our first step is self-discovery. And that begins with connecting with your body, whether you're a man or a woman. Enjoy touching, feeling, and arousing your body. And no, I don't mean necessarily having an orgasm, but first begin by just feeling yourself. Without a partner, pleasure yourself gently, tenderly at first. Build up the desire. Make yourself come to a place of arousal. Avoid using a vibrator, a book, or porn at this stage. Begin to first connect with your body. This connection with yourself is at the heart of living a fulfilled, enlivened, excited, and turned on life. Now, as you discover things about yourself, yes, you can move towards more of makes you more passionate, what brings about arousal, what brings about orgasm. Explore all of that. The second step is to share this with your partner. Introduce your partner to your body. Show them how to touch and pleasure you. Ask your partner to discover your body like an explorer. Describe what he or she sees. Be silly, be poetic. It's okay. It's okay to lighten up. It's okay to be able to let yourself be seen and to not be so serious about yourself. Try different kinds of touch and strokes. Notice what feels good and what doesn't, what turns you on, what turns you off. As you're discovering these things, make sound. Give feedback, verbal or visual indicators that show your partner what makes you feel more or less pleasure. Keep repeating this till your partner has the cues embedded in their head, till they've really got it, till it's become a practice. Don't think that because you did it once or twice, they're going to remember it forever. No, it has to become ingrained. Ask your partner to do all of these as well, so that they can be on the same page as you are. Share your fears and concerns. Do you think you're being too greedy, too slutty, or shameless? Could you allow yourself to feel good, excited, fulfilled? How does that feel to you? Is it really such a terrible thing? Make sex a priority. Just do it. Do not look for whether you are in the mood or not in the mood, whether you're feeling like it or not feeling like it, whether you've had a hard day or not had a hard day. Okay, there are some exceptions. There are some extreme exceptions. Let's put those aside. But other than that 10% of extreme situations, it's important to know that sex needs to be a priority in your relationship. Not making it a priority will come at a heavy cost. Remember that. This is not something to take lightly. So, as I was saying, set a time, make a date, anticipate, fantasize, send texts revealing some of your ideas for the evening. Get your partner in the mood, get them excited. Because if you're just going to do it same time, same place, same way, just before going to bed, that isn't going to work. It has to be an adventure. It has to be exciting. And if you really want to get anywhere with this first step is essential. Set the stage or the room. Avoid routine sex, hurried sex, unsexy sex. Plan on how you will make it different. Read things that might stimulate you, maybe stories, maybe books, whatever. Watch videos that train you, not just porn, but videos that show you different ways, maybe things on Tantra, maybe things on other forms of sexuality that show you different ways and different techniques to shake things up, to do things differently. Try them with each other, experiment, explore, see what happens. Okay? So planning is very, very important. Before you even begin, connect with your body. Breathe, take some deep breaths, touch yourself, relax. Don't try to have sex just like that. First connect with you. First connect with your body. Then connect with your partner. Start with a deep hug. Let that hug last a few minutes. Well, as long as you can go with it. But really, when you hug each other, maybe sit on his lap and breathe simultaneously. As he breathes in, you breathe out. As he breathes out, you breathe in. Then sit apart and look into each other's eyes. Try and keep your eyes open as much as possible. You might giggle, you might laugh in the beginning stages, but keep holding that gaze a minute or two. Then begin with slow, loving caresses and deepen the state of connection as you do this. Remember, a room that is well arranged and set up with music and fragrance and all kinds of wonderful colors or lights will make things even more enticing for sexuality. It should be a beautiful ritual, a beautiful place of meditation, a beautiful place of connection. Make it goalless. And by that I mean, do not aim for intercourse. Dance, cuddle. And I say dance in a sensual way. Cuddle without trying to have sex, without necessarily sexually arousing. Or if you are sexually arousing each other, do it in a teasing way. Arouse and build desire in your partner. Take your time. Enjoy the process without a goal. This is vital. Without a goal. Do not jump into intercourse. I'm repeating this just so that you keep this in mind. Relax. Enjoy each other. Enjoy each other's bodies. Enjoy the process of arousal. It is 80% of the whole act of sex is just this. Let this be 80%. Let this go on for a long time. Bring surprise, novelty, variety, fantasy, even sexy stories and situations into your lovemaking. Yes, bring in sounds, be animalistic, be wild, be crazy. Allow your passion to come through. In your stories, you can make up different scenarios and situations. You can dress if you like in ways. You can act out things. You can play, role play, and try out ways in which to seduce each other. All of that is important. Be open to exploration and imagination. Please do not be in a hurry. Please do not try to get it over with. that is not going to work. After all this intense lovemaking, have goals. You have opened up a new dimension of sexuality. Set a minimum standard and an ideal standard. What is the minimum amount of times you'd like to have sex? Like this quality of sex. Is it a minimum of once a week? I would not recommend going less than that. Perhaps an ideal of twice or thrice. Don't be too ambitious. Try and set up a realistic goal. Try and put at least an hour aside, if not more. 1 to 2 hours would be a more ideal time. And try to have that instead of watching TV or some of the other things that you usually do. And alongside all of this, plan on educating yourself further through books, videos, and seminars. Make this an exciting journey. Make it a process of discovery. Make it a process of mastery that you and your partner will go through in being able to discover all the magic that is hidden within your body, within each other, and rediscover your relationship and take it to a new high. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, to like, and to comment. I really want to know what it's been like for you in your relationship. What kind of help do you need? Where can I support you further? Did you like what you saw here? Would you like to know more about a particular aspect of what I talked about? Whatever it is, feel free to comment and let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and I wish you wonderful lovemaking and a wonderful, soulful relationship. Take care.